Did you see my Feng Shui episode launched today?
I haven't listened to it yet. I did see I saw the episode. I was like, man, who's this? Who's this other
Dude,
person on Rick's show?
dude,
It's supposed to be me.
I'm just down for whatever anymore.
I
I'm
think
just
that's
like,
awesome, dude.
you can't stop me. You can't make Feng Shui related to retirement planning. I'm like,
I
hold
think we
my
should
beer, dude.
I think we should do a bet, and there should be a third party. There should be a third party judge, and we should see who can have the most obscure guest on a retirement planning podcast and actually make the content has to work
Yeah,
too.
you
I
still
can't
have
just
to, yeah.
like I can't
Oh,
hire a
trust me,
gardener.
I brought it to
It's
retirement,
got to connect.
100%.
It's got to connect somehow. I'd say in the next I don't know what, through the end of the year. Let's say through the
Yeah,
end of the year, who can get the most obscure person on their show, but it has to
deal.
connect to retirement planning. Done. All right. So
Yeah, that's total deal. Yeah.
this is Successfully Retired with Hamilton Brandenburg. I'm
I
gonna
will
do
win that.
a little bit of like rage bait here today. And you might. So I found a post on LinkedIn. I spend too much time on LinkedIn. LinkedIn
Yeah,
is like
same.
my favorite place, though. Met a lot of good people on LinkedIn. So present company
And me.
included, yeah. So I read this post, and it's basically on the topic of like, why should people keep working with a financial advisor if they have one? And I'm just going to read it to you, and then I want to hear your impression, and then I'm going to talk about all the things that I think are silly about it. So
Okay.
here goes. Quote, "You get access to me is the lamest reason someone should continue to work with you. People are not walking around thinking, I just really need access to a financial advisor. Also, while we're at it, refreshing a financial plan isn't a good reason either. I understand it's important to revisit things, and I'm not saying you don't refresh the financial plan. I just highly doubt your new client is thinking, I really hope my financial advisor will refresh this plan with me. Someone, please tell me from the client's perspective why they would continue working with you." And the author, who I do not believe is a practicing financial advisor serving clients themselves,
Okay.
thinks that a consumer getting access to their advisor is a super lame reason to tell
Okay.
somebody to work with them. So I'm kind of curious
So
about
is
your
there,
initial
let
impression
me,
of this.
well, hold on now. Is there, without any other context, reading that based on other posters, I don't know who this person is. This is the first time I'm hearing it. Is the idea that you don't need a full-time financial advisor and you should just like go get a one-off plan,
No,
or
so
they're saying you do, but that's not the reason?
yeah, so this guy I think is like a marketing or growth specialist for advisors. He like helps
Oh,
them grow
okay.
their
So
practice.
he's
And
just saying the stuff you guys are saying, like you do a good job,
yeah,
but the stuff you're saying sounds ridiculous.
that's right.
Okay.
And on the one hand, I kind of agree that I think it's a lame sounding reason. Like I don't think that
Yeah.
I would lead with, well, you get access to my brain, Mr. Client. I think that probably comes across as a little cocky,
Yeah.
but I actually kind of disagree that it's a bad reason to keep working with a financial advisor. And I'll just put it this way for a couple of reasons. Number one, and I promise I actually read it not just so I could grandstand. I do want to hear your opinion too, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in there first. So number one, first, think about all the clients we interact with and how they deal with the other professionals in their life. And I'm going to give you
Yeah.
some quick examples. When they talk about their accountant, 9 times out of 10, they're complaining that they have a lack of access to their accountant.
Yeah.
You know, they don't get back to them in time, whatever. Communication's not great. This is not a knock on accountants. Love the good ones. The other ones are okay.
Yeah.
Number two, attorneys, especially like I've had a few clients get divorced recently. They pay $5,000 or more sometimes as a retainer for a divorce attorney. And guess who they spend all their time interacting with? Paralegals. They don't get
Yeah.
any face time with the attorney. So access to
And
the
then
professional who you're paying.
everything's on the clock. So
Yeah.
you're less likely to reach out for the little things because you know that email is going to be 0.10 on hours on the invoice.
Yeah.
Every email, every phone call, everything is feed, and so you rethink, is that worth me bringing it to their attention or not?
Yeah. So I'd say on the one hand, just by comparing advisors to other professionals, I don't think that access is like a lame selling point. I think a lot of
No.
consumers are frustrated that they have professionals they can't access. And I have another reason why I think access is a good selling point, but I don't want to talk about it yet. I want to hear like what is your impression of that? Do you think that I'm being silly for kind of critiquing this guy's point of view?
No, I think you might be taking it too personal. It
Oh, I
sounds
take
like
everything
maybe.
personal.
Listen, here's the thing. I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
The truth is, all the reasons, maybe there's a better, like, give me a better way to sum it up then, because like you
Yeah.
just gave me the problem poster, not you, but you gave me the problem, but you didn't give me a solution. So what I can't do quickly on a billboard or on my website or in 10 seconds
Yeah.
in an elevator with somebody is list all the freaking things that I do
Yeah.
for somebody throughout the year or why they should keep me, especially because the list of 12 things for client A is a different list for client B. And what
It's a
client
very
C cares
intangible
about,
reason too.
it's very difficult to list all those things and really nail down those pain points, um, because they're different for everybody at different stages in their life. So yeah, maybe it's not, maybe like access to me and refreshing the plan isn't like the best, but give me a better way to frame it
Yeah, I agree.
in like one sentence or less, because if not, it's very, very difficult.
Yeah, I agree. I had a case recently. You and I talked about this, and this kind of I think it's probably why I disagreed with this post, but I to be clear, I don't know the author. He seems like a really nice guy, and I agree with the spirit of his messaging that we need to be better how we articulate what we do.
I'll start trolling them after this.
Yeah, that's right. We'll just spam them. So I had an individual reach out to me and was interested in becoming a client. And we started talking. I'm like, okay, you currently have a financial advisor. Why are you reaching out to me? And so he's 80 plus years old and he's retired. And he just starts telling me all these things that are happening in his life with his that are affect really like his adult children.
Yeah.
And there's an intersection of stress between his adult children and the choices that they've made and his feelings of guilt and love as a parent wanting to step in and save them, but also not knowing what his capacity is to do so, or even if that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And so as we're kind of working through this in our discovery, a couple things stand out to me. Number one, I find out that he has also interviewed another financial advisory firm, and they quoted him a fee that was half of what I would charge, literally,
Yep.
like super cheap. His only thing that he tells me about his talk with them was they said I'm not really paying X percent. There's some other fee that the advisor is charging. I don't understand it. I don't understand any of that. So he's interviewed somebody else. All he's heard is like a bunch of financial jargon that he doesn't
Yeah.
understand.
And they're focused on fees. We're
And they're
cheaper,
focused
and
on
here's
winning
three
on
reasons
fees.
why you're paying too much. Yeah.
Yeah. But the other thing too is as I'm talking about his family dynamic situation, which has nothing to do with his portfolio. I mean, indirectly, but not really.
Yeah.
One of the things he says to me is like, Hamilton, there's like not been anybody for me to talk to about these things.
Yeah.
And that really stood out to me. And I kind of asked, like, hey, let's talk about your advisor you're working with now. What do they do for you? He's like, well, they come in town. They're from out of state. They fly in town once a year and meet with me, and they go over my portfolio.
Yeah.
And that's it. So here you have somebody where this investor has around $1 million, like $980,000. They're paying over $10,000 a year in fees to somebody, and they don't feel comfortable calling that person and saying, I have something going on in my life that really affects the intersection of my money and my values, and I'm really trying to figure out how to get there's all these pieces to reconcile. They don't feel comfortable having that conversation with the person who they're paying. And in
Yeah.
my mind, the person who they're paying should be the person that they're having that conversation with. So that's where I would say, no, like caring and access and connection with a client, they are very squishy, but they're really good reasons to keep working with somebody. If you have an advisor and you feel like you can, like, yeah, they have a good service calendar and they do all the I call them like the I don't know, the math skills stuff. Like that to me,
Yeah.
that's just table stakes. Everybody should do the math stuff, the tax planning, the investment rebalancing. I know they don't,
Yeah.
but everybody
They
should.
don't.
That's table stakes,
They
in my
don't.
opinion.
Yeah.
But like if they're doing all that, but they connect with you and they understand what's important, and they can be there for you when you need them, when your life
Yeah.
changes outside of meeting times. That's a great reason to keep working with that person, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. So I think that, one, I don't have the budget for this, but as you're talking, I'm like, I need to hire a therapist to be like, literally, how many conversations have we had, podcasts and just like personal through text,
Yeah.
that like that would have been super valuable, because
Yep.
all these decisions, I'm afraid to spend money, I'm afraid to retire early, I'm afraid to do this, I'm afraid to do that, it comes from things that like we're there to support it. And I'm more analytical, so I try to support it with the math, saying like,
Yep.
no, encourage you, you can, and I'm going to prove it to you with math. But there's deeper trauma there that we're not really handled, or we're not like capable of handling. I think that there's something there. I think that could be valuable. Maybe if I get the budget, maybe get a fractional uh, counselor or something on staff, that would be cool. But what you're saying is true, and what the poster's saying is true, because what you just said doesn't like read as you have access.
That's
You
fair.
know, and so I don't know how to say what you said in short, because like
Well, obviously, neither do I, or I would have said it in short.
we actually care about you, like falls flat. Like I
It's
think
so
it's really,
cheesy. It sounds
yeah,
so
you're
cheesy.
right, but I also don't know how to articulate that. Um, that is, it is interesting, yeah. And so from a marketing perspective, I don't 100% disagree with the poster. I just don't know what the fix is, and so
Yeah.
we just keep saying the same shit.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with my opinion that access and caring are lame sounding reasons to advertise to, or like I wouldn't sit across from somebody and be like, the reason you should hire me is because I care
No, we
so
don't say
much
no,
about you and I'm gonna
no,
be there for you. I mean, maybe like a little bit, but like it comes across as a little cheesy.
yeah,
But if your advisor does care about you and they're responsive and they keep singing, I call it like I keep singing for my supper. They keep trying to find ways to add value throughout the
yeah,
year,
yeah.
then probably a good reason to keep them around.
Yeah, so
Um,
I heard two things that I want to, when you were talking, that I want to call out. One is the access, even not just on the like squishy feeling side, but the actual access, because you did all of the planning stuff ahead of time, does matter. I
good
have
point.
my phone on me all the time. We both specifically have made our practices smaller over the years versus bigger for that reason. And I'm always working and never working at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I live my life with, like, if my client texts me or emails me and I'm at my kid's soccer game or sitting in the office or 20 foot up in a tree in the deer woods or golfing, whatever it is, I can respond to them. Right. But also, I don't ever feel like I'm working, because it's just part of my life and what we do on a daily basis. So,
I've gotten a lot different about that. I've cut back a lot on like I've had to start time blocking a lot more, and I've had to kind of retrain a couple of clients who probably had a little too much access, just because it would get like it would start overflowing into other areas of my life, or I would be like a workaholic. And I
yeah.
think it all kind of came to a head of once I had a client who like was texting me something at like 8:40 at night on my cell phone, and I was like, "This is not good for me.
Right. Right.
For me, it wasn't
Well,
good."
you gotta have some boundaries,
But I know
but
what you're
here's the
saying.
thing too. If you're doing something else, and it's okay just to acknowledge, like, if I'm at my kid's soccer game, I might acknowledge that I received the email and that I will review it tomorrow morning. Like, give them some expectations rather than just them not hearing
Yeah,
anything, because they're worried. Like, they're reaching out not because they're a pain in the ass, because they're worried about something, whether
yeah.
they should be or not. But the other thing that I heard about when we talked about fees was, and I never really thought of it this way until you were talking, the advisor that was undercutting and charging half of what your fee is, and then having an investment only meeting, the framing for those clients needs to be, now you're not like, you're not paying 50% of the fee and trying to decide if you want to pay me twice as much. You're paying 50% of my fee for investment management, and then you have to go find planning somewhere else.
Yeah,
So if you go find planning,
yeah,
and then for somebody that's going to do their planning without the investments, we know what that costs, because we know guys that do that. You add those two things together, it's going to be very similar to what you and I are charging, and you could just get it all in one place. That's the difference. Is they're not cheaper. They're just charging less than our full fee to do one element, and you still need to go pay somebody else to do this other element.
Well, and the funny thing too is, so that advisor's not even anywhere close to being in the running, because investment management and cost weren't concerning to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, cost a little bit, but like everybody's kind of like, oh, am I getting a good deal?
Yeah.
Is it comparable? But they never complained about it. This advisor just never even found out what I did, because I guarantee you didn't ask any questions about it. Just jumped
Yeah.
into like, let me show you my cool chart. And I actually have the stuff that he printed off for the client. And it's rough. It's a little rough,
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
not
like,
very
okay,
digestible.
you
Yeah.
clearly didn't take any time to figure out what was important to this person. You just started printing off charts, like 40
Yeah.
pages of charts, and overwhelming them. So,
Yeah, it's really interesting because not just in our industry and everything, and as me as the consumer, like I'm willing to pay more to get the thing that solves my problem either better or faster or whatever it is. Like I'm willing to pay more. Don't
yes.
don't project on me that that price is the only issue. And I had a problem with this a while ago. I know, and we can have a conversation about that another day, but I was undercutting myself and charging way too little, and found that like I was the only one that cared about it.
That's right. Yeah.
And it was like the dumbest shit in the world. So it's like, don't project that stuff on people. Don't project your feelings on them. They want a job done that no one else is doing.
Yep.
And so they're willing to and should pay a premium for that. So I think that's where we can leave it. But send me that post. I'll totally just troll the hell out of them.
Yeah, just rip him a new one. All right, see you later.
All right.
This show reflects the personal opinions and viewpoints of myself, Hamilton Brandenburg, and my guests. Opinions and viewpoints are subject to change at any time without notice. No representation is made as to the accuracy, completeness, or relevance of the information presented. The information discussed is general in nature and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice, so consult with your tax, legal, and financial professionals about your specific situation. Past performance does not indicate future returns, and any indices mentioned are for reference and cannot be invested in directly. Brandenburg Financial Services is a DBA of CS Planning, an SEC-registered investment advisor.